that. So again, just the composition. I just went vertical with this one, trying to look at the whole page as how he's placed in there, just lightly sketched it out. And again, I'll try to go back into what I mentioned in doing the head, for example, this circular part, finding that egg shape again. So I kind of have a little bit of the nose and the cheeks in there, and the triangle for the mouth, and a lot of that becomes exaggerated as it goes through it. But using that basic formula kind of helps lay out the drawing and get it started. So the rest of it, with the ears, that type of thing, there's a location here. It could also be based off of just a cylindrical part that holds this first part of the ridge of the ear, and just kind of breaking this down. There's loops and curves, so anything that you do, you can still keep that sketched in there as a loop before you go in and find the actual object line or the contour line that's going to be there, and they wrap themselves around. The part that has the trunk becomes a cylindrical shape and just kind of looping itself out. The lines that go on the cross contour for the anatomy of the trunk also help with the shape, defining the form in there, so I can change it as it twists, kind of showing the twist up into here. Let's see if I can break this part off as it goes up into the nose. So again, there's like a triangular shape at the end, so I build that in there, find circular shapes to help pull that together, and then it gets into something like the hat. Still building it off of a circle, even a sphere if you have to, and that'll get you set up pretty much in the anatomy of the hat. Same with the concept of the eyes from the previous, the egg character. It has the circular shapes, pupil in there. It's in a little perspective, so it's tilted this direction, and then anything as far as the eyebrow and the furrow of the head, so it's just kind of showing that space. And once you get a shape, if you get lost, always go back and find the basic geometric volume that's underneath it. The mouth, again, still has a triangular connection to it, so I find the corner of the mouth, let it come down deeper in for the trunk, and then I can make the bottom part of the chin, the mouth, that type of thing, kind of blending into the body. So as far as the head, that's kind of what's on the page. The rest of it is what you guys are putting together, minus the hands, which we've been practicing, so you have that, and the rest of the body. The action, or at least this line, is a gesture trying to represent the spine, and it also gives the movement of the character, and then the rest of it is built up off of circular shapes to bring those parts. So the pelvis and the torso, putting it together, and then the legs still and the arms are kind of like cylindrical stick figures to help you with it, just trying to get some of the shape in there. Helps build up the volume, and then I can go back in, and here again, here's the hand with the mitten part. As it wraps around, it's just a matter of changing this to kind of make it just a little bit more interesting. So this pinky, middle finger just kind of tapping the bat, and maybe this part, change that a little bit so it's going around the top. Okay, and trying to make the bat a little bit smaller, not too big, but the hand here holding just like the piece of wood, it wraps around it. There's 3 knuckles to build that up, but it's drawn in this cartoon style, the hand there, and there's the thumb. So the palm of the hand you can't see too well because of this bat. Wrap some tape around it to get the cylindrical shape to help define it. So it builds up that shape. So the arms they're kind of there yet, they're not solidly placed in there. I'll give them a uniform, and then the legs, just as he's starting to walk up to the plate. Here's the circular part for the foot. I'm going to see the bottom part, so I'm just kind of showing the 3 nails coming up at the top. And same with this, the knee, and showing the bottom part of that. Okay? And then once you have that, then it's just a matter of going in and trying to find, again, the object lines for this. So you can look at the sample and start to build this up. It doesn't matter where you start, just try to think of it with a light source at the top, for mine at least, and just building that up. So this thin and thick line, again, becomes pretty important as trying to illustrate that. And it's kind of like if you're doing this in pen, you're kind of looking for that line. You can see how it stands out from the rest. And sometimes if you do the eyes first, at least the drawing has something of a life to it, a little bit more, as you start to put that together there. And I've kind of done the same type of pupil where it has the highlight and a little reflected light on the bottom, just to build that part up there. However you start to animate your character, so you can kind of see a little bit of the line as the whole drawing goes through. But that's just a matter of you're starting to put it all together. Here it has like a thin and thick stroke on this, and this overlap helping with the shape itself. And as it turns around. And take your time with it, try to get the best view, best look of it. And turn your paper, turn your sketchbook to get the best stroke. So like that. It's a pretty big stroke for this drawing. I just want to build that up. And the tongue, just kind of putting it inside there. And just kind of adding some of that together. Okay, so you can kind of see it coming together. Again, as you start to do a little bit of the tones, it'll build that up, finding those edges. Makes it pretty good. And then just coming down here to this part. And again, this bat, kind of tapering it up. You're tapping against it. And there's a straight edge if you want to make it really straight. You can place that in there. Get that initial outline there. And again with the foot. And the tail, just kind of letting it go thin to thick on this one as well. Kind of blending that out. So for the most part, I'll probably put a uniform on them, on the shirt, maybe some pinstripes, but that gives you the initial section. And then as you start to look for the tone, for the shading, remember it's about a half or a third of the distance, so just kind of going through the drawing, blending it in. Getting some different pencil strokes in there, just kind of blend that across. And as you go through each piece, you can start to at least lay it out and get the shading going. Builds that part up. Just kind of doing that part. And again, this entire body, just think of it as a circular form. He's kind of bouncing up to the plate here. So that's initially the beginning part, and then it's a matter of just going back and refining all the shading into that that section there. So that's your first, kind of the first pass-through of the drawing.